Hey guys, DSVault here, and in this video I was going to review the arena game in the World Cup 2v2 between USAA and Czech Republic. I think it's Czech B. And really just try and give my opinion on what went wrong during this game. So actually I'm going to speed it up a little bit through Dark Age as I talk through some stuff. But so you have Team USA playing here. In the series, it's tied up 1-1. And then you have T90 coming off the bench for Scotty in arena because T90's probably a better arena player than Scotty is, because Scotty doesn't play arena at all. Whereas both Czech players are kind of arena clowns, especially Draken. Now, the teams that they had available for this, for Team USA, were Vietnamese, Italians, Celts, Japanese, Teutons, Saracen, and Slavs. So right off the bat, you can kind of cross out Italians and Japanese, because USA's other home map was Team Islands, and so you definitely know they're not going to use Italians or Japanese when there's a water map coming up. So I like the Vietnamese pick. Vietnamese is very strong arena civ, even in 1v1, especially in team games, because you can get to fast castle rattan archers. Teutons, another strong arena pick. I don't think it's as good as this 1v1, because you're not going to see as many monks, mainly because there's two players. One's going to go archers, and that kind of counters the monks. But good boom civ, and their game plan going in was to have T90 boom with Teutons, and then when they're in Castle Age, slaying those resources to Daniel, get Daniel ahead, and have him 1v2 with the rattan archers until T90's fully boomed, and then adds probably Paladin. Now the issue I see with this is they already know the strategy that Czech Republic B went for in their game versus Norway, which was to have Draken play Spanish. I mean, the teams, the civs remaining for Czech B were Khmer, Berbers, Huns, Persians, Mongols, Spanish, and Cumans. Right off the bat, you can take Persians out, because you know Persians are going to be saved for if Team Islands come up, because they're way better water civ. Well, not really a water civ, but they just do better on a water map, because that's extra starting food and wood. And then you know that Spanish are going to be picked on arena, because there's actually no other use for them. They're going to go into either some sort of tower rush or FC castle conks. So it's going to be Spanish with somebody, and in their previous game that, these two are clowns, so they're going to go for some funny stuff. And so against Norway, they had Drakant go towers. I think he towered the wrong guy in that game, because that the other person's gonna, that Viper playing as Mayans was going to be building a castle, and tower rushing against someone who's going to be dropping castle kind of defeats the purpose of it. As T90 goes for his walls here, and this is what I was getting to. So T90 is going to drop some walls behind his original stone walls in his base, on the premise that that Drakant's going to come forward and try and tower and break through the walls, and then Yezrez is going to go FC Knights, which, you can do with Mongols, not exactly the best, but because it's not something they want to go long term. But then just break through the walls and then 2v1 with the Knights in space, because he'll have no answer to that, because his fast castle will be delayed. So he's building walls behind. That way, if the original set of walls go down, the Knights have another section to break through, gives him more time. I think it's a bit early for doing this. I think he could have waited until, had his... he's literally doing nothing right now with the scout. He could have the scout out here, and if you see that he's, just outside the base, and if you see that they're up to feudal early, you just run back inside, and either he has to follow, in which case his scout's trapped in here, or he doesn't, and in which case, at that point, you start walling, and you probably wall from here to the gold, and then this line as well, and then probably house. But the thing about this is you know that Spanish are going to go for something YOLO, because they basically have to. And I don't really like... I mean, if you know that they're going to go for something YOLO like that, I don't like the idea of you giving away map control and not making any type of military, and then also not making any type of defenses, and just straight up go into 3TC, because Fast Castle 3TC means that your economy, upon arriving to Castle, cannot do anything but pump out vills. It's very fragile. Like, it makes you stronger quicker, but at that point, it's very fragile. And what we're gonna see from Yezriz, and what I think that, because alright, so for Daniel's never gonna be tower pushed by Draken, in my opinion. Draken would have already been up. He has to know that, so it's not tower play. Because this is all fast castle timing here. Like, T90's going fast castle timing, and he's the first one up. So he's on stone. He's about to build Market Blacksmith. And with Dracomp being so far away, you know he's not going to tower push you. So you're safe until you're going to hit castle. Because there's no way, even if he showed up now, that he's doing enough damage to break through the walls and get in before you get a castle up. And the thing about a castle drop is if you have your own defensive castle, it effectively denies the entire push. So Daniel's safe. He knows that he's going to be safe as he signals the scout here. And T90, or not T90, but Team America, World Police over here, playing exceptionally passive with their scouts. Like, they've scouted effectively nothing at damn. Switched over to the patch and it ruins all my stuff. At 13 minutes in the game, they basically scouted nothing. So the issue is Draken's on T90's side, and you know that Daniel is going to be safe if he goes for a castle drop or any type of, like, you know, conk, siege push or something like that, because he's going to have his own defensive castle. So now it's up to America, to USA, to recognize this and say, well, then T90 is going to be the one that's going to get hit, and try to do something about that. And he's too late to go on to stone to drop his own defensive castle. But you should maybe think about not dropping 2 TCs and maybe dropping 1 and maybe going into a stable or something like that. He doesn't have a barrack, so it would be super late. But they didn't adapt their strategy at all upon, and this is the second time that they saw these civs because there was already a restart. Now they obviously can't see this because it's you know, behind his walls, but Yezriz is going to go for scouts, and oh, that's another thing that I totally forgot. So while they were still in feudal, they saw the scouts from Yezriz, called out that it was going to be a castle drop. You know the castle drop's not going to be on Daniel because he's going to have his own castle, and then T90 scouts the vills coming forward as he's adding TCs. So they knew it was going to happen, and yet they didn't change their strategy at all, which I 100% disagree with. Because now you have this YOLO play from Spanish, and you are just opening yourself up to it by... You're not changing what you're doing at all. Now he's going to add stone walls in behind, and that delays it slightly. But this is what I think USA struggled with all throughout the tournament, and that is that they were caught in between two minds as to what to do. And I think it's because they don't play together, for one, and for the most part, they're mainly 1v1 players. So they don't play any type of 2v2. And while I think they did, fairly well for what they were seeded, to not get absolutely stomped in most games, I don't think that they did well versus other teams who played together and have more experience. So, like, here you're going to see T90s. He's continuing to add, those cheap Teuton farms. Daniel's on his castle making Rattans. He's adding a second town center. Still on stone, so he obviously wants a second castle for more numbers. And probably a third TC. But T90, he's like thinking like, maybe I'll add towers and then I'll get guard tower. But I'll also sling, like, it's just a whole lot of caught in two minds. And so the thing is, like, if he 100% commits to guard tower, in my opinion, he's safe. Or if he 100% commits to, like, have Daniel sling him stone, and then also use the gold that he's mining to buy a castle at home and drop it, like, right here. Granted, it's tough because there's already a Mangonel on the field, but if he drops a castle here, he's Teutons. He's already got murder holes, so they can't really run in and sit underneath the castle. It would protect the gold, it would protect his farm space. He could add, continue to add stuff back here. He still has plenty of room. The issue, like, the one thing that sucks is that they could have conks come here and range this whole side. I think he should have, like, house walled this much earlier. But you're gonna see, like, he's adding towers. This is 1 tower, 2 tower, 3 tower. That itself, 375 wood, so you're basically halfway to a castle right there. He's getting coinage, so he's not getting tower upgrades. Like, he has fletching, but he's not gonna get bodkin. Coinage, for you don't know, costs the same as bodkin. Like, you have some Rattans coming over from Daniel, but it's just a whole lot of, like, he's adding the wood for university, but he's not going to get guard tower because he's going to sling all the resources he gets. He's, like, off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like, 10 or 11 farms out here. There's another castle being dropped on his face by Draken. So, it's just one of those things where it's like Team USA needed to commit to a hard strat. And I think the other thing that T90 thought was, if he slings Daniel up to Imp faster, then Daniel can come back, treb these castles down, and they'll be safe. Now, yes, but at the same time, I 100% disagree with letting the Mongols get a free boom. And even though Rattans do a really good job versus Magadai, if you add Mongol siege rams in front, even without drill, just patrols from siege rams in front of the Magadai, it's effectively the same thing, because Rattans are going to deal 1 damage to the siege rams. Siege rams have, like, what, 300-ish health. And then the Magadai fire over the top and hit the Rattans. And even though they're doing 1 damage, or I think they do, like, 3 damage or something, because Elite Magadai have really good attack. And you obviously can't do the same, because neither Vietnamese nor Teutons get Siege Ram, and also Magadai have the attack bonus for them, versus them. So, T90 is trying to, like, boom, sling, while also on stone, while also dying. He's adding 2 more towers, so he, like, I think the play was either rush guard tower, with having Daniel, like, sling momentarily over to T90, or rush a castle with the same thing. And then once you get T90 stabilized, you have him then sling back. And, like, even if they get to Imp at the same time, these two, I think early Imp, the Rattans are much better than Magadai, because Magadai take more upgrades, and also you're not going to have the eco to go Siege Ram in front. So that's just my opinion. But if we look at it, T90's at 65 vills now, because He's got a load of idle time. He's now getting guard towers, so he's spending those resources. But what is he defending with the guard tower? Like this main gold when there's 4 mangonels on the field? Like, mangonels do have a hard time pushing guard tower, especially Teuton guard tower. But that's only when they have bodkin and like when there's only like 1 to 2 mangonels. If you have 4 mangonels, it doesn't matter. They crush through it. And also T9 is expanding here to go out to this wood line. I think at this point, when he's basically like, you've cracked the outer shell of the turtle. You've gotten into that meaty section in here. Like he still has farmers. He has, what on the screen right here, 22 vills exposed here. He has a siege workshop that he added that he's not going to produce siege from. This is something that in a 1v1, and this is why I say like they're caught between 2 minds, and it's because they're, you know, mainly 1v1 players. You wouldn't add the siege workshop in a 2v2 if you're trying to sling, because you don't have the resources to produce from it. Like he added the university, he added like 6 guard towers. Doesn't have bodkin on those. But at the same time, so Daniel's faster to imp. He's already trebbing down castles from Yezriz, and he'll have, you know, obviously more treb numbers because he was faster up and faster producing from them. He'll have, you know, more upgrades. But he's also sending, this is another thing. Once again, caught in between 2 minds. He's sending Rattans over to T90 side because T90, I mean, like, this is no longer T90's base. It isn't. It's 100% is not. Like, watch this guard tower. There are 4, I mean, garrison, like, he hasn't garrisoned it, but there's 4, and the villager out-repairs it. So this is going to go down in a heartbeat. And now T90's basically playing Nomad, while also trying to sling, and also being vills behind, because, you know, at this point, Draken's added, he's gone to 3 TCs, actually he's gone to 4 TCs, and he has forward map control. They control all of T90's golds. They have the military advantage. Like, even if he has not super invested in the conks, he has like 5 conks, and T90 just hasn't made any military at all. Good micro from Daniel there. And I mean, Daniel is going to clean up, because I've already seen this game, obviously. He's going to clean up this base here, but it's not going to be fast. It's like not as fast as T90 died in the first place. Like, these guys over here, sure, they killed the conks, but they're not doing anything. Actually, as I say that, they kill all of the mangonels, so I take that back. But T90's added a TC here, like, he's effectively playing Forest Nothing. I don't agree with adding a TC here. Like, alright, so if you play team games, especially on Arena, and your base gets destroyed, but then your ally is destroying somebody else's base, you run along the edge of the map, like T90 is doing right now, and you just continue to just, you know, like mold, expand, you know, along the edge of the map, and then you, like, alright, so this is another thing I want to bring up right here. This is Yezriz's main gold, and then he has another 4-tile gold here, and these will effectively, once he stops taking them, not be taken anymore in the game. And at the end of the game, Team USA, which is trading, is struggling for gold while still having map control of like 5k gold. Like, T90 did a really good job of finding you know, a good TC spot here. I think the TC would have been better there, but he needs farm space. He has a bunch of wood, and he just needs that food to sling over to Daniel still. Actually, as I say that, Daniel already has his upgrade. Oh, he only has 13 on food. And he doesn't actually have all his upgrades. Wow, Daniel actually not producing eco the way he should, in my opinion. And he should also have a second mining camp here. It's really inefficient. Second mining camp should be added here too. Yeah, so I think another thing too is Daniel's really spending a lot of time microing. And this isn't really a good effective trade either, especially if you're not having the siege there. But yeah, now Draken going to a 5th TC. right on the forward gold from T90. Whereas T90, like, still hasn't moved out, adding a TC here. Where's the where's the defense for these two TCs as you add eco? I don't really understand. Like, maybe he thought that Draken wasn't as far ahead as he was, but he has to look at the score and realize, like, Draken has more score than Yezrez, and Yezrez boomed straight up to Imp. So I don't think it was good game recognition for either of them. Like, T90 was trying to say, like, where should he run? This was a good spot. Another, like, decent spot here just to get out the farms. But what he really should have done was run as far away from... Because Daniel's killing Yezrez right now. Yellow is pretty much out of the game. He's down to 65 bills. He's down to 75 pops. So T90 has, 40 more pop than him. He should have expanded here. And probably gone to this neutral gold and this neutral stone, which... Is that actually... Are there more neutral golds and stones, or did they both spawn on Team USA? Oh, okay, no, there's one here. Neutral stone. I was about to say, that would be really unfortunate for Team Czech, and they still won the game. But yeah, like, where's the defense for these TCs, for all of these fills? Like, he's playing Migration. Like, he added a TC here, and it's been up for, like, maybe 2-3 minutes before it's going to go down. What are his resources looking like? Oh, sorry. Okay, so he just actually clipped up to Imp. And he's going into pikes. These are only spears, no upgrades. But I do like the pike choice. The other thing that really hurts Team USA here is both of their civs have really bad light cav options. With Teutons not getting anything beyond scouts, even though they have technically the best scouts in the game. And then Vietnamese get light cav, and they get all upgrades except for blast furnace. Wow, so he deletes... Oh my god, I hate it. He deleted the castle, and then he slung the stone to Daniel. I think even just having your own castle up here to defend this farm space, like, even if you don't get it up originally, you're eventually getting... And Daniel, once again, like, not helping his ally clean up these Cavalier, as he only has fletching on this. With plate barding, like, it takes forever to kill a Cavalier. These do 1 damage a shot. But yeah, T90 just lost all of these farms. He has still another... like 25 vills back in his base that are effectively dead. Still adding guard tower. Like, there's no reason to add guard tower here when it's not going to save the vills. It's just going to delay their deaths and use up resources. Sling wood and food over to Daniel. He's making a bunch of pikes. Yeah, he has like, but no upgrades for him yet. Actually, just slapped down his blacksmith, like, probably because he lost it over here earlier in the game. Yeah, that Cavalier's going to get in here and probably kill all of those vills. Daniel's, attack is stalled here pretty much completely. They're not collecting these relics. Like, there's 3 relics here in Yezrez's base. I wish there was a go-to relic hotkey on DE. That'd be really nice. Yeah, T90's got 20 idols. The guard towers that he added didn't help at all. He has access to 3 tiles of gold. He's still slinging most of his resources, including his stone, which I hate slinging stone unless it's absolutely necessary. Unless you have, like, banking. But he still has more pop than Yezrez. But it's weird. Because they can't... Like, they should be able to fight the Cavalier. But they're not masked up for it. They're, slowly running all over the map, putting out fires all the time. You know, he's slowly getting... Alright, this is not... Alright, so this is something I wanted to bring up from the start of the vid. So, T90, who has... He's, you know, 50 gold away. Well, was 50 gold away from getting Halb. Getting Halb is more important than getting armored attack on pikes. Because pike, the entire pike line, it's all about that attack bonus. You know, getting attack, so one additional attack on a unit that would get an additional 6, I believe, bonus damage versus Cav. You know, weigh the options there. And it's also getting 5 health from the Halb upgrade. He delayed going to Halb way too long. But the issue now is they're no longer pushing. They have all of this gold here. They're not going to take it. They have these relics. They're not going to take them. They have gold here. They have stone here. There is... Okay, there's still 2 tiles of gold. Well, like one and one. Like 1.1. Tiles of gold left in his base. They're trying to, like, Mission Impossible save T90's villas over here. Like, they're just dead. Like, literally just have them, like, waypoint run through the edge of the map. Or just let them collect wood and then slowly have them die. But give up on them and find somewhere to push. If you aren't pushing, you're, like... T90 has 30 pikes over here that... I mean, I don't think he has arson, so they're not even gonna fight buildings effectively. He is going up to Cavalier, though, but I think when he gets to Cavalier, he's gonna find the same issue, where he doesn't have the eco to sustain it, and he's not gonna have any armor upgrades on the Cav. Like, he only has 10 on gold, he only has 400 gold banked. Still doesn't have Halb. And Daniel's also... He only has 29 military. T90's actually leading the mill count, but it's all pikes. And Yezris is actually getting up castles now. He's actually getting to a point where he can produce Magadai because they only cost wood and gold. He doesn't really have access to gold, but I think his brother is slinging him. Yeah, he's got 2 on gold. But look, there's all this gold here. They're not taking it. They're expanding into areas that they cannot defend at the moment. Like, there's no castle here that there should be to, like, kind of wall off this area. And T90 is still... He's still super exposed as far as this goes. Like, sure, there's house walls and stone walls here, but, you know, these light cav can just run through. Now Hussar. And, I mean, this is basically... Alright, so he's finally getting Halb. Now he's getting cav upgrades. He doesn't have the gold. He does not have the eco to go Cavalier long term. I think he should have delayed going cav, and just went straight Halb, and then probably like Halb Onager or something like that. Granted, it's tough versus you know, a Mongol player that already has Magadai with most of the upgrades and also their own onagers, but I mean, just getting the earlier Halb upgrade, I think, would have changed the game. And also, there's all this gold that they haven't taken. Granted, they're kind of taking it now, but they haven't secured their bases. Like, you know, they can still run through. He should have had a castle here that he deleted, you know, quite a while ago. And now they're pushing these guys. Okay, so here's the 5th relic. So, I don't think anybody... Nope. Yes, there's... Oh, he's actually got 1 relic here, and he got the relic that was in his moved base. So he's going to get gold from that, too, long term. But the thing is they're going to clear up these castles, and then they're going to try and trade from this corner to Daniel's corner. Daniel's already set up the market. As they signal literally everything. But the thing is they do not have control in any way of this side. Whereas, like, they could have possibly taken this gold and then maybe traded from... it's not the longest trade route, actually. I don't know. I just think adding the gold into military units before trade and pushing that way, like, they're gonna throw so many military units against the Hussar and not have it be effective compared to Czech, who's just there. I mean, Czech isn't gonna trade at all for quite some time. They still have gold in the base because they've been taking the neutrals and T90's gold. Like, there's what, like 1,000 gold there, and oh, actually, there's still that 4 tile there that they're taking as well. Yeah, but they still don't have any, like, they're not walling up at all, not even with, like, palisades or anything, just to deny him running through. Like, there's a hole here. But the Hussar are just going to raid them to death. And I think at this point, T90's having an issue producing because he doesn't have food. As Daniel gets banking. Okay, so he actually is giving his food over to... I didn't really notice that so much in the casted game, but it seemed like they were really struggling for food because T90 does not have... he's only at 73 vills and he's trying to go into Paladin. Whereas, you know, Dracont has 120, fully upgraded Hussar, and he's just flooding them across the map. Yeah, so now they're clearing this out, and it's like not even for the gold at this point. Like, there's gold here, but they're never going to get a castle up to be able to defend this area here. There's still stone here that they could try and take, but that's super forward, and all the villas would probably just die. Like, this push is very, very slow. They probably, this Mangadai, though. They're still Onature. Yezrus now has Elite Mangadai. I think he's probably missing, Parthian. And, I mean, so, we're especially seeing in this tournament that, Red 10 Archers are very effective. But the thing is they're not effective versus melee units. Like, they have, what, 1 more attack than an ARB? And then they have the same HP, I want to say? Honestly, I don't know. I think they have less HP, though, than a Vietnamese ARB. But they do really well versus, you know, Elite Mangadai. And if it was Paladin and Rattan Archers versus Elite Mangadai and, you know, Hussar with good numbers, then yeah, sure, like, Team USA wins that fight. But if it's just like a handful of you know, Paladins with, if I could click one, actually they have full upgrades for Teutons. Then, you know, like, the Mangadai are still going to win. Especially if you have the Hussar in front. Because Hussar dies slower to Rattans than the Mangadai are going to kill something like Haub. And T90 just doesn't have the eco to produce long term. Especially if he's adding in trade. Granted, he has gold, he just doesn't have the food count. And Daniel doesn't have the farm count to sling him either. Like, Daniel's only... I don't think Daniel's ever been over 100 vills all game. And they've also never gotten any damage on Dracont all game. And Dracont he's just a pest. Like, he has archery ranges inside T90's base that I don't think were there the last time I checked. Like, alright, so this is a really good fight, but then again, the Mangadai could just run away because they're way faster. And they can wait until they have more, you know, beef up front. And right now, Team USA has no beef up front. Where's the beef? Like, you're finally seeing, like, fully upgraded Mongol Hussar. So even that wasn't in for the last couple minutes. They're just slowly running in. I mean, Daniel should have walled this at any point. He doesn't have stone, but, I mean, this is another thing. Where you see pro players, they don't wall like they should. I mean, like, there's holes in these walls, probably that they opened up so that they could just get their units out quicker, and then they'll never re-wall it again. Or maybe they open it up for the trade. Honestly, I don't know. But yeah, there's like, Rattan archers do really well in 1v1s, especially versus, I mean, they dominate other archers. But in order for them to fight Cav, you, just like any other archer, you need beef in front of the archer. You need Cav. You need bodies. And Team USA doesn't have the bodies. I still don't think he is Parthian, though. So these are going to be underperforming. Yeah, because they should be doing a lot more damage to the Halb. I think it's what, like it's either like +2 or +4 damage against the pipeline. But they're gonna, you know, the pikes are still gonna die way faster than the Hussar. You know, they just have less HP, and they have, well, they have the same pierce armor as a Mongol Hussar, but Mongol Hussar don't get the last armor upgrade. And so, another thing that T90 talks about a lot is, you know, flooding compared to going up earlier. This is kind of the same premise, where Team USA is trying to add trade, and they also see that they aren't adding trade over on Czech B side. But Czech B is just flooding units right now and not adding trade. And I think they still have gold. Okay, there's only 400 gold there. And I think he has 2 relics. And there's 2 more relics he could take here. But they're just going to flood trash. And Team USA doesn't have the pop to be able to fight it. So while they're spending all of their gold and a lot of their wood trying to get out trade cart and then get ahead that way, they're just going to die to straight trash. And Yesrus actually does an amazing job of keeping these like 20-ish Mangadai alive for a long time. Like, there's only 17 Rattan archers from Daniel here, and he's slowly losing them because they don't have any protection. Like, T90 is actually finally getting up to, like, a good villager pop. Granted, Dooney has 40 farms. But he's using that gold to add trade, not to add paladins. And the other thing is they're sending out their units, like, one at a time. They're not massing up. So if you send out, like 3 paladins into, you know, the Mangadai, as, Daniel actually starts going into Imp Skirm, because I think they're trying to bank gold and then transition back, which I don't hate, but I mean, Imperial Skirm 8 attack, and then they're gonna do what, 4 damage versus a Mongol Hussar, and then 2 damage versus a Spanish Hussar, which is better than normal, but you know, it's still pretty bad. Like, T90 is going to raid this area of the eco, but I mean, this is only recently added from Gesriz. Space has been dead. These villas have literally been chopping for half an hour now. But they're not adding in units, and the military counts are just not there for Team USA. Like, you would need 30, 40 Rattan archers, and then another 20, 30 Imp skirms to fight this effectively at all. Their trade isn't secured. This castle is going to get trubbed down. I mean, I think it all comes back to just being caught in two minds during that middle portion of the game. Like, when that castle is dropped on T90's face, I think it just threw a lot of pressure on them, and they didn't respond correctly. They just kind of half and half. You know, getting caught like a deer in the headlights, doing that half and half, that gets you killed. I think there's about 10 minutes of game time left here. So I'm just going to speed it up just a little bit, as I think he's got 3 relics now. Yeah, 3 relics, could easily get a 4th. T90's walled this area up. There's still a gap. They're losing the entire center of their base here. They're losing production buildings. They're not taking fights effectively. Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about. So Daniel actually got to like 56 farmers, and T90's really struggling to produce here. Daniel has 5,000 food towards the end of the game, and he's not slinging T90 back, because T90, he's got 23 on gold, 44 on food. He has the production buildings, like he's got 6 stables here, but he doesn't have the food to produce. Like, he should not be adding trade anymore. He should cancel these trade cards because they're losing so badly, and they should just keep what they have right now, because they need to defend what they have and not add more. The moment you add more and you can't defend it, they're just more dead pop. Okay, finally seeing food here to queue back up, but I think like that needed to come in from Daniel way earlier. Just that's the other thing, you know, that Team USA didn't have the effective team coordination. And that's because they're not really a team. They're just a couple of individual players who teamed up for the tournament. Like, I don't think Daniel and T90 or Scotty, you know, because Daniel's on Pet Gun Pet, T90's mainly a caster. Scotty, I don't really follow that much, but I'm pretty sure he plays a lot of Arena. I don't think they play together, you know, on a daily basis, or even on a weekly basis outside of this tournament. Like, they should be sending the rally point back. I mean, granted, they kind of have to, because T90 should be deleting some of these walls so that the trade can go through this way. Instead, it's like going directly into the battlefield, and it's also causing major pathing issues for his reinforcements. Granted, another thing that Team USA could have done here, granted, it would have taken, you know, some foresight, and I don't think many pro players go into this kind of thing, because it doesn't really come up too often in the way they play. But if you notice that there's only like 6 Magadai out for Czech Republic, like they're only flooding in trash, you could have had Teuton's transition into Champ, and Champion beats everything that Czech Republic has on the field. And it also doesn't cost a whole lot of gold, so you can go at super effective. Plus, Teuton Champs get 2 free melee armor. Because there's only like 3 or 4 trade carts in total for Czech B, and they have Spanish, so you know they've basically not had a team bonus the entire game. They're solely winning through just flooding trash, and Team USA not having enough pop to fight it back properly. Because they're also doing a really good job of sending like the Hussar versus the Imp Skirms, and then sending the Skirms versus all the Halbs that T90 is producing. But yeah, now I think there's basically no gold in the map. They're solely relying on trade. Actually, no, there's gold here, and there's still gold actually in T90's base. But he probably doesn't see that, and he's probably not paying attention to it at all. Because it's a real messy game at this point. And I think right now, they're starting to see that they're dead. Like, they still have the score lead, but they're not producing any gold units. They've lost all of their trade. Yeah, there's only 2 on gold right now. I think they've actually I think T90 just added that market, so they've shortened up their trade route. Like, they should delete these walls then. Delete these walls, delete these houses. Really clear that up. But even then, like, they're adding new markets here, and literally on the same screen, Czech B is pushing. And they just don't have the pop to effectively answer it. And yeah, there's the GG. So anyway, good game from both. But when it comes down to it, I think it just all comes back to not the Dark Age walls, because I can kind of see what they were thinking with that. But just realizing that there was going to be a castle drop on somebody, and then not changing the strategy at all, because the idea that the castle drop was possibly going to be on Daniel and is just, you know, fantasy, basically, because there's no way that Czech B looks at the teams and goes, oh yeah, we'll totally drop a castle on the guy building a castle. That just doesn't happen. So you always know it's going to be on T90, and then T90 still going into a 3TC boom, and then delaying his defensive measures, and then effectively losing his eco, and then having to migrate. Because if they sling T90 to be able to stabilize his defensive position, and then have T90 from that point, because T90 was up like 40 vills over Chakant, sling Daniel back, and then Daniel hits Imp, and then Daniel 1v1s Yezriz. At that point, you know, you could just have him roll over the map with the massive Ratans that he has, and then when he no longer needs sling, because once you hit Imp and you get your upgrades from food, you don't really need sling anymore. At that point, T90 should be at like 110, 120 vills. He goes Imp, he adds Paladin. That's the game. But I just don't think that they read the game correctly, and I think that bit them in the ass long term. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.